Are you interested in buying yourself some One Direction merch? Like hoodies, t-shirts, and tracksuits? Go click the link in my description box now and get some awesome discounts from 15% up to 50% off. They offer you free shipping as well. So, what are you waiting for? Link in the description.
Hey guys, it's Sam. Today I have Chandler here with me against his will, and I'm Remy. So today we're gonna be doing a little bit of a throwback. I found this video from 2015 on my channel of me reacting to a Tumblr post I saw.
Of course it was Tumblr.
This girl asked, is Harry Styles transgender? So I made a whole 9-minute video about it, and I totally forgot this existed. So I thought, like, okay, maybe it'd be a very entertaining video to revisit that video from 4 years ago.
Especially since like people talking about trans issues like right now and stuff
Very
like that,
prevalent.
about like what exactly trans is and like all these people judging trans individuals.
So with all the non-binary and trans topics in the media, we thought that this would be good timing to discuss maybe why some people think people are transgender and just clear up some ignorance, and also just see how I define trans as a 17 or 16-year-old. We already know that this video is gonna be cringy. I look different, sound different. Hey guys!
Ew! I'm sorry. I'm just joking.
How are you? Great! I keep saying that YouTube is a one-sided conversation, and you guys are just here to judge me and listen. I'm here.
At least they're woke. They know.
But yes, I decided to try a different angle today.
What's with this fucking fake ass earring? One of those clip-on fucking things.
You have
so
4
itchy.
fucking clip-on earrings on one ear, thinking you're so fucking great and like so like hipster. I can't even tell what they are. They look like so kid-like.
Yeah, I think I got it from Claire's.
Listen, don't hate on Claire's. I got some good ass. Listen, I got some good ass jewelry from Claire's, like some emo shit too.
I'm laying down on my bed. We all know a bed is a very intimate, personal.
What the fuck are you talking
This
about?
just means that I'm leveling up. I'm down on my bed. I feel comfortable. I feel a lot more comfortable on this channel.
You don't need to explain your new angle. Like, okay, I'm doing this angle.
I don't know who this is.
Anyway, I'm gonna start the video.
Good.
So is Harry Styles transgender? Well, I'm here to debunk that question.
Even Remy's like, no, we're not watching this. Pause.
And I'm not making this video to say, oh, this girl should die, like she's so ignorant and stupid.
No one ever says death. Are you wearing contacts or are you just blind filming?
No, I actually put on glasses later. I never wear contacts.
There's a difference between being ignorant and staying ignorant. There's a lot of people that are ignorant to a lot of things in this world, but it doesn't mean you have to like get mad at that. You know what you do? You tell them. You educate them. And that's
just
what we're gonna
tell
do.
them. Walk up to them and tell them. Just tell them, you know what, you're ignorant. And then walk away.
Me and like a civil rights movement out on the street. You know what, guys? Tell them. Just tell them.
Just tell them. It's so simple.
Why does it also sound like I'm teaching a class, like a first grade class? I'm like, okay, everybody, we're gonna be sitting down right now.
Your shorts. Oh my god.
I was skinny back then.
Oh.
I'm a librarian.
The sexy librarian comes that randomly. What does this video turn into?
I look sharp. I'm lucky.
Fucking
I love how this video is just roasting you, not even reacting to the whole trans thing.
Cause I'm so memeable. This video screams single in every language possible.
Look at the walls, yeah.
Now I know why nothing ever happened in my life. I acted like this.
So the title of her post was, I have a feeling that Harry might be transgender. I know I'm way off of making assumptions and shit, but I mean, come on.
I love when people, that's like their first sentence. Because you know so much ignorance and like uneducated language is gonna follow. I know I'm not supposed to make assumptions, but come on guys, look at this. It's like, what do you mean? They're making assumptions and they make a whole list of shit.
1, his hair. Anyone can grow out their hair, I know. 2, he paints his fingers.
Wait. I know anyone can grow out their hair. I know that. But then you don't explain, okay, what about his hair? I know people can grow out their hair. But anyway, second point. What? Wait, what?
Painting nails is not assigned to a certain gender, but it's more of a girl thing. 3, his girly attire, his flowery shirts and his tight pants. Son. I like that part. 4, we all know he's into guys and is madly in love with Louis. Number 5, in tight pants, he usually has a huge bulge. And I know everyone has seen him in his white jeans. And let me tell you, there ain't no dick there. I'm done. This post
Those are your excuses?
I'm done.
Flowery shirts. I'm sorry, but that's in the men's sections all the time.
Floral. It's called floral.
Yeah, it's called floral. I have some floral shirts, and they're actually from the men's section. If anything, he's more feminine now with what he does. But that doesn't mean that he's trans in any way. That's just
Definitely not.
You know.
Well, that's what I did in this video. I read it all first. Now I'm gonna dissect it.
Alright, let's see how you dissect it, and then we'll judge you on how you dissect.
Basically, she thinks Harry's transgender because of all the things I just listed. She thinks that that's what makes someone transgender. We'll start with the first.
Well, watch, she's like only like 13. Let's be honest here. A lot of Larry fans were like 12-year-olds. You know,
at the time,
at
yes.
the time.
She states, anyone can grow out their hair. I know that. Transgender is when your sex does not match your gender. Your gender is in your brain and your sex is down there. Okay, so now.
Why did I get so quiet? I feel like what I said was not 100%.
That's not
accurate.
exactly 100% true.
I said your gender's in your brain and then your sex is what's down there.
But then you're implying that if a trans woman still has a penis, then they're a man then. Because if they saw a penis, then they're a man, even though they're a trans woman though, and they did other surgeries, and their hormones are different. So, are they still a man? No.
Right.
Sex is more complicated than that. It's a mixture of your chromosomes, your biological sex characteristics, meaning, yes, like breast tissue, uterus, penis, vagina, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then also your hormones. So when you transition, for the most part, a lot of people go through medical transitions and they do like hormones and stuff like that. Yes, you cannot change your chromosomes, but it's much more complicated. Chromosomes, we're not just XX and XY. There's a lot of different combinations. It's not just your basic 8th grade science. Yeah, you can change your secondary sex characteristics through different types of surgeries. You can technically change your sex because if it's a combination of those three and many different things, if you're changing majority, then the majority overrules, right? So therefore you can change your sex.
Yeah.
Class dismissed, bye.
Yeah, but yeah, see, I know that now. It's just then I had the basic definition of what I maybe saw on Tumblr or something.
Right, and this was 2015. Not everyone knew.
If a guy has long hair, it does not mean he's transgender. It's called gender expression. There's so many guys who have long hair, and it does not mean they feel female. Harry's long hair does not mean he's transgender.
To prove your point, you should have put more celebrities with longer hair, not just 2 pictures of hairstyles. There's a lot of guys out there with long hair. Harry. No, you can't do that.
I think I do that more in the video too.
You're not gonna include Thor in there?
Paints his fingernails, and then she states painting nails is not assigned to a certain gender, which I'm glad she said that. But then she says, but it's more of a girl thing. She's perpetuating a gender stereotype. She's basically saying it's more of a girl thing, like nail polish should just be a girl thing, and if guys do it, it's gay, or it means they're girls, or they shouldn't do it.
First off, this is like very small amount of painted fingers.
Right.
One, he has just a corner red. Yes, in that one photo, he has one full finger red. And then the rest are just clear nail polish. She says like a certain reasoning, but then she puts in parentheses how that's not assigned to a certain gender. So if it's not assigned to a certain gender, or you know that, hey, everyone's hair grows,
then why is she including
then why are you including it in your excuse of that he's trans?
Exactly.
That doesn't make any sense to me. It's like you're backlashing what you're trying to say.
Yeah, she's contradicting what she said.
Or she just doesn't want to be hated for being
yeah.
Ignorant. So she puts that in parentheses like, I know it's not a gender thing, but come on.
Every person says that, like, no hate, not trying to offend you, but like that's their little parentheses. Also now Harry paints his nails a lot more colors.
Yeah.
This was like baby
This was
Harry.
him exploring his gender expression. Like this is bare minimum what he does now.
And he was controlled by management so much back then, he couldn't do a lot.
Guys can paint their nails and can still be guys. Joey Graceffa paints his nails, and actually a lot more guys are painting their nails now. It does not mean they're trans. It's called gender expression. It might be more feminine, but feminine does not always equal girl. Harry might paint his nails sometimes, not transgender. Him wearing his flowery shirts, maybe he wears pink, but he does have more of a flamboyant style. He's more stylish than any of the other guys in the band. There's so many guys who wear tight pants, okay? And there's so many guys who have more flamboyant style. Again, that does not make you a girl. There's so many girls who wear masculine things that does not make you a different gender or sex or anything like that. Your clothes have nothing to do with the way you identify. Your clothes are your expression, not your identity. Harry is not transgender because he wears girly things.
Why are you pointing those things as really girly?
They're not.
They're just like more detailed. Because you know how it's like that common thing of like, oh my god, who are you wearing? Who are you wearing for like girls on the carpet? But then all the guys, they look all the same on the red carpet.
Suit,
and
black suit.
You get that one guy, well, that one rock star or actor, whatever, that has like a little pop of color or anything, and then immediately they get questioned about their sexuality. It's like, no, it's called adding a little bit of fashion so I don't look like everyone else.
It's all rooted in toxic masculinity. Also, if you notice, like, the more rich someone is, they dabble more into style and fashion.
Yeah, I love how men are more diving into fashion, and it's like very unique and different, and like, sure, some people might coin it as feminine and stuff like that, but it's like a lot of cis straight people too.
All know he's into guys and is madly in love with Louis.
First off, you don't know that he's into guys. He's never said it.
I think Harry is in love with Louis, and I do think Harry has more of an attraction to guys. But this is sexuality. He's correlating gender and sexuality. Gender has nothing to do with sexuality. You can't say just because a guy loves another guy, it automatically means he's a girl. Like, are you kidding me? That's basically what she was saying. Even though she might have not meant it that way, she was basically saying if Harry's in love with a guy and he likes guys, he's transgender. Because if Harry was trans, he would identify as a girl, therefore he wouldn't be gay then.
Is this person saying that Harry's trans woman wanting to be a woman, or are they saying that Harry's a trans man being stealth, thinking that we wouldn't know that he'd been through some transition?
She's implying Harry's a trans woman.
Okay, so wanting to transition into a woman.
That's why I said if Harry was trans, he wouldn't be gay for liking Louis, he'd be straight.
I'm just a little confused because the last point she says is about there ain't no dick there. A trans woman not going through surgery yet and not out yet obviously will have a dick. Maybe she's confused of what trans is, and like she doesn't know what Harry was actually born as. Like, I don't know what.
I think it's a mix. I think she's confusing both trans women and trans men, and she's just saying trans.
I thought she was saying that because like the whole dick thing was being like, he's obviously a trans man then because there's no dick there. Saying like, oh, he packs when he's wearing tight jeans. Or she's saying no, he's trying to be a trans woman because he's tucking to not have the appearance of a dick.
That's what I think.
Okay.
Because if you look at the rest of her points, she's making it sound like, oh, he's feminine, maybe he's a woman.
Okay.
But the fact that she's correlating that fact with Harry being transgender, that's not okay. So no, Harry liking guys and maybe liking Louis, one, that does not make him gay. We don't know what
maybe?
So don't
you mean you're a fake fan?
I was going into a woke point. I literally said in this video, I said, don't assume someone's sexuality.
Next she says, he wears tight pants and usually he has a huge bulge. And I know everyone has seen him in his white jeans, and let me tell ya, there ain't no dick there. This is where I think more people were becoming a little sensitive. What you have between your legs has nothing to do with your gender. As we stated, gender is in your mind and your sex is in between your legs, like your genitalia. This is an issue for the trans community because usually when people meet a trans person, they're like, oh, do you have a dick, do you have a vagina? Like usually the first thing people ask about trans people is like what they have in between their legs, which do not ask that. That is very invasive, that's very private, and some trans people don't even want to think about what they have in between their legs because that's part of their gender dysphoria. You cannot say that just because you can't see a dick through a guy's tight jeans, it means he's trans just because you can't see it. So you're basically saying just because you can't see Harry's dick through his tight jeans,
there's a dick there.
Just because he doesn't have a dick and you might think he has a vagina,
What's her definition of dick?
The first photo, it was a little questionable. The first photo that you showed.
His bag is there. It's kind of covering. What if his dick's like up there or something?
What if he had a boner and he like tucked it up? No, this is a real thing.
Okay.
What if he had a boner and like he tucked it up to hide the fact that he had a boner rather than it just sticking straight out? You tuck it up into your belt and everything like that. Depending on how long your dick is, you tuck it into your belt. Right. Because obviously there's paparazzi, and then he hit it with the bag. Bitch. He had a dick, it's called he had a boner. That's what happened in that photo. All the other photos, there was obviously a bulge. You know what? He had a boner. That's exactly what happened.
She's basically saying the way Harry dresses, the way he expresses himself, like with his fingernails or his hair length, or the tight jeans he wears, she's basically saying all of that is what makes Harry transgender. Gender expression is the way you present yourself outwardly to society, like the way you dress, the way you do your hair, how short it is, if you paint your nails. That's all gender expression, and that does not mean you're trans. There's a lot of cisgender people who present themselves maybe in a more masculine way or a feminine way, and that does not mean that
we're all born with it. There's probably today a Reddit of people thinking that Harry Styles is probably non-binary. With all the same points, but in reality, he doesn't have gender dysphoria that he shows of because he's very comfortable showing his body. Obviously, he's shirtless in like a lot of photos with his art and everything like that, and music videos and all this shit. And he hasn't voiced of anything of like being dysphoric with certain things. So like the same valid points that you're saying of why he's not trans, same valid points that you would say in a video today of why he's not non-binary.
Right.
And yes, non-binary is in the trans community and gender fluid, because if you're not associated identity-wise with what you were assigned as at birth, then you're trans. You're within that umbrella term and stuff like that.
Right.
You need gender dysphoria to be in that umbrella term.
I mean, if people just came out and said Harry's androgynous, that's a whole other thing, because androgynous is about...
That's not gender.
Exactly. Androgynous is not gender.
Expression.
It's your style.
I feel like a lot of people today are just like finally realizing that we all have masculine and feminine traits, and they're all more open to exploring like expression-wise and being like dipping into like more feminine clothes or more masculine clothes, depending on what they were like, you know, assigned as and everything like that, and what society pushes on what you were assigned as. But that doesn't mean that you have to question your gender just because you're like, oh, I like this floral print. Oh my god, am I gay? Am I trans? Am I non-binary? I'm non-binary. Yes, because I like both masculine and femininity. So I'm non-binary, that means. No, it's not. That's not exactly what that means.
Let's say you end up finding out that you are trans or non-binary, anything in that. It usually is not like a moment of realization. Like,
it's not this one day that
it takes a while. And also, while you're discovering it, you end up like doubting yourself a lot. Like usually the people who end up being trans are the ones who suppress it the most and say, I'm not that.
They want to be anything but that because it reminds them of the dysphoria. Like I had this phase where like I was extremely feminine because I was trying to force myself to be feminine. It's turned into this thing where people are turning gender into a whole political stance on something. Dan Levy just made a post.
For instance, Miles J identifies as a man.
Who's Miles J?
Miles J identifies as a man, he, him pronouns, but he dresses in drag.
He wears a wig, he wears the makeup, he wears the girly clothing, and he even acts effeminate, you know, like very feminine. And you would think that he would be trans, or you think that he would be identifying as a woman based on how he presents himself, but he's not. He prefers he, him, and his. He prefers those pronouns, and he identifies as a male. Some people who dress very feminine in drag and all that, to that extreme, sometimes they still identify as what they were born as, cisgender, you know, male. I hope this video made you cringe. I hope you
it definitely did.
The difference between gender expression and gender identity, and between sex and gender. This is how people learn. You have to educate them in a nice way. No one's gonna learn if you go tell them to shut the fuck up. You know now, and you are no longer ignorant, and that is amazing when...
We're no longer ignorant. We watched this video, we're no longer ignorant.
Alright, so we found some comments underneath this video that were kind of funny.
I found this accidentally while looking for the video of him waving the trans flag. And I don't think speculating whether or not someone is trans is okay, which I totally agree with. Like, you shouldn't question whether or not someone's trans, because, like, first off, why the fuck do you care? It means that those things listed make Harry Styles gay, assuming it is really a man. She looks transgender to me. She looks transgender to me. No, he isn't. He's an FTM trans. He doesn't have deep set eyes. He has a feminine bone structure and maybe a slight brow ridge. Who the fuck is doing like geometry on someone's face to figure out if they're trans? We can say what the hell we like before we are free. Whose god are you? Maybe he can be a transgender one. You can see the woman in Harry. It's an FTM. You can see the woman in Harry.
Maybe a woman has been in Harry.
Peggy? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I can see him.
So what do you think of your old video?
I was pretty educated because there's 15-year-olds today or 16 and they're not even this educated.
Which is sad. This video just made me pissed off of how like a lot of people today still say the same excuses as 5 years ago, and yet there's like so much more research and like forms of transitioning online and stuff like that, of people like sharing their experiences of transitioning, their experiences of gender dysphoria, and yet still people misconstrue of what gender dysphoria actually is, and they get confused of like, oh, I'm experimenting with my gender expression because they're realizing, oh, we all have masculine and feminine traits, so then they automatically question their gender or sexuality. It pisses me off when certain people, they explain why they are trans and non-binary, and all they talk about is expression. I've seen many non-binary individuals say, it gives me freedom to express both masculinity and femininity. You can do that while still being cis. If you don't have actual dysphoria with your body, not the way you portray your body, but what your body actually is, and not just hating your body because you're coined as fat, and it's like someone like fat shamed you or something.
That's a big thing too. A lot of people confuse it. That's where therapy comes in.
Yes, exactly. Therapy can actually deep down dive in of why you're having certain feelings of things, because sometimes it's just trauma of hate comments, of saying that like you're fat.
Thanks for watching this video with us. It was kind of cringy, but it's
kind of. It was cringy.
But it's interesting to see like my thoughts from before versus now. And yes, they're kind of similar. There's just like a couple ignorant things I might have said in the video, but not that bad for it being like 4 years ago. If you want to see more content like this, just let me know down below.
You guys can check me out on my channel, Alternate Journey, where I do a bunch of educational videos on the LGBTQ+ community, mainly with transitioning.
I make a new video whenever I want, so like and subscribe. All my social media is down in the description, and I will see you guys later. Bye.